Hi, this is Tim at the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, we discuss something exceptionally rare. Launched in 2008, the Bethune DB26 Perpetual calendar was the first Bethune model to feature two emblematic elements of design. One, the patented spring-loaded ergonomic floating lugs, and two, the bi-material sapphire and titanium capped hands. This perpetual calendar also unique in that it's sort of the opposite of a bullhead winder with the crown at 6 o'clock, and then on the reversed, a movement that is designed to be viewed upside down. But what makes this one very special is that only 4 were made with a combination of rose gold case and grade 5 titanium lugs. The rest were all white gold. And then this one featuring a unique DB20 series deployant clasp, the likes of which you will not see on any other DB26, or at least I haven't, and I've seen at least a dozen of those extant. So this is a special watch. It's a big one though, not thick but broad. At 44.4 millimeters in diameter, I measure it 12.9 millimeters thick. At full extension, the lugs are 57.4 millimeters across the wrist. At full compression, they're only 52, with a 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs. A lot of folks mistake the DB26 Perpetual calendar for a DB28, but it's never been a DB28 and preceded that model line by 2 full years. This is where that design came from, so this is a real formative piece for Bethune. You can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, it actually does fit pretty well. It's flat enough that it will fit underneath the cuff, and particularly with the way the lugs change their geometry, this will fit. So if your wrist is my size or larger, 16 centimeters circumference and up, you're going to find that this is a good match. If your wrist is smaller, there are other Bethune models that get as small as 38.7 with the new DB28XS. But this is a full-sized Bethune complication, and you can see we've decided to put it on a lush and lovely vibrant orange rubber strap. It is a true hand-sewn strap to actually bind the rubber elements together. You can see it's 100% non-leather, but it's actually made by the OEM supplier of Bethune straps, Jean Rousseau. They also make the straps for FP Journe and many others. And it's a lovely look and particularly useful if you live in a place where it's hot, you may sweat, and you may want to wipe down your strap with no negative consequence. You can't do that with leather, but you can do it with this. It also looks great against the rose gold of the case and the buckle here. This is why I say this is an unusual one, because typically on a Bethune, you're going to have a pin buckle, and it's going to be more or less matched to the design of the lugs. So you look at those lugs, and then you look at this buckle. That buckle is from the early DB20 series, like the 20, the 22, the 24, and then internally, you can see that the clasp itself is made of stainless steel, so it's rose gold on the outside, early DB20 themed. If you can think of those shingle-like Bethunes, that's where that buckle comes from. And then we've got a twin trigger release, and I've never seen this before on a 26 or a 28. Someone decided at some point to spend a lot of money to upgrade the pin buckle to this, and it makes the watch potentially unique in that regard. You can see the little bullet tips on the edge of the lugs, the last styling vestige, the original DB1 chronograph of 2002, the brand's first product. It would be tempting to look at it like this and think it's a bullhead winder, like all the DB28s tend to be, but the reality is you're supposed to look at it like this. There are little pusher adjusters outboard for many of the calendar features, though there is a quick set for the date and the month. So we've got the day, we've got the pointer style date, we've got the month numerically represented, leap year phase indicator, and a spherical moon phase. You can see it's actually 3-dimensional. That moon phase is white on one side, blue on the other, 1/2 white palladium, 1/2 blued steel. Now it's a perpetual calendar, so it need no correction until the year 2100. The moon phase has an adjustment interval of once every 122 years. Again, people may mistake this for a DB28, but DB28s typically don't have solid dials. Here we do have that. We have these hands, which would later reappear on the steer wheels, but the steel wheels is not a complication in most of its iterations. It's a relatively simple watch, whereas this is a perpetual calendar. And these hands were envisioned as a way to ensure that all of the perpetual calendar indicators were fully visible at all times. So we have these sapphire hands, but if you look carefully, you can see the blue elements are actually titanium. So you have this ring that runs around the outside that is a titanium cap that is snapped into place to create the boundaries and the definition of the hands, fired blue titanium. That too for the blue surrounding the moon phase. The moon phase is blue steel and white palladium, but everything around it is blue titanium. So are the indices pointing at the calendars and these hour indices outboard. We have a lovely sort of silver satin dial, the Bethune making its own cases, movements, and dials. You can see on the reverse that the printing on the barrel bridge is designed to be viewed like this, because it is, again, an inverse bullhead winder, and then you look at the movement upside down. So instead of a deltoid pointing up, you have this sort of splayed V for victory shape. Also, it's very unusual to have the company name and logo on the bridge itself. You can also see this is an older version of the triple parachute shock protection because the brace is discontinued. It normally runs all the way up to the top of this bridge. Here it's cropped just below the balance, and you can see we still have triple parachute shock protection, which is patented. It serves both to preserve the watch against damage and to improve chronometry. But look at this sort of double bracket bridge, very different from the single arm that would be adopted later. You can also see that the balance is one of Denis' early proprietary balance designs. This one with tri-spoke design, so it's non-annular, it's not a wheel. 4 Hz beat rate. It's a patented design that includes elements of rose gold, platinum bulbs, and a blue titanium tri-spoke wheel itself. So taking another look, you can see that not only do we have this balance, which is designed to maximize the percentage of mass in the rim, decrease aerodynamic drag, and reduce the impact of temperature change on timing, we have that patented balance, patented triple parachute, twin self-adjusting barrels, patented, cannot accidentally be overwound, and endow the watch with 5 days of power reserve, the 4 Hz beat rate oscillating with a hairspring that has a patented curve shaped by hand after the hairspring's cut into 2 pieces, shaped manually and then micro-clamped back together. You can see just underneath we have Bethune's proprietary silicon escape wheel that reduces maintenance requirements, improves power reserve, efficiency, and chronometry. And the movement's 30 millimeters in diameter, so nicely sized to fill this case back. Of course, it drives the proprietary perpetual calendar on the other side. You can see we have Côte de Bethune on the bridge, a sort of reflected, mirrored Côte de Genève. And then we also have solarization on the barrel caps, media blast on the base plate, polished screw heads. And if you look carefully, you can see that the ratchet wheel teeth are actually micro-beveled. So there's a lot to love. The bridge has been mirror finished. It is spectacular. 30 meters water resistant, so don't take it swimming. And unlike the DB28s, this one does not actually have a screw-down crown, so people will twist this all day long trying to screw it down. It doesn't work that way. You just push it in and you're good to go. If you love this watch, it's an unusual one, that's for sure. Maybe unique with this combination of a 1 of 4 case lug combo and then the DB20 series deploying clasp. I've never seen another, and I may not. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.